What is good, y'all? Today we're doing a low to mid taper fade into the curls. Alright, my boy wanted to trim, so we're picking out all of his hair to make sure it's all even after we trim it. To trim it, I go in with my clippers and just start freehanding. I like to start off my blending process on the sides while I trim the top. Saves me some time. When I trim the hair, I'm just moving my clippers in a round shape horizontally. And after I trim the hair a little bit, I'll take a pick and I'll pick it out to get the hairs that weren't cut. Because some of the hairs get pushed down and they don't get cut by the clippers. So you gotta pick those hairs right back up. It's just like when you're combing while you're fading. I wasn't really touching the front portion of his head. I was mainly touching the top and the back because they seem to be growing a bit faster than the front of his head. I was trying to get it all even, obviously. This spot right behind the ear is pretty important to get because the hair will stick out to the sides if you don't get it right there. Alright, moving on to the fade. We're gonna start our first bald guideline with our trimmers. We're gonna put it right where the eyebrow ends and the earlobe connects to the head. It's kind of my golden little spot I like to use. Unless I'm doing a high taper, obviously. But after we set it in with our zero gapped trimmers, we're gonna come in with the foil shaver so we can get that real bald. As you can see, I'm not going all the way up to that line with the foil shaver, or I'm not gonna be able to get that line out. I'm just stopping a little bit shy. You might not be able to tell, but I'm stopping a little bit shy for sure. Now we go in with the lever open with the clippers. We're going up about a finger's width, like always. Always go up a finger's width for your guidelines. You can see I'm flicking out a little bit, but I'm not exaggerating it because it don't matter because we using guards. Now to take out the line, you see what I do here. I close the lever all the way and then open it just a little bit and then hit the very bottom of the line. And then I'll close it all the way to get out the trimmer line at the very bottom, but I barely go up for that. But then I'll have it like almost all the way open but a little closed when I'm hitting the top, and then I'm just playing with the lever and putting it on the line and blending it out. Just be careful, do not push the fade up. Start low, and if nothing's happening, nothing's cutting, go a little higher and open the lever a little bit. Or just go a little slightly higher, don't open the lever. If really nothing's cutting, then you're too low. But if you go up too high and the lever's too close, the blades are too close, then you're gonna push the fade up. Alright, for my next guideline, we're going with the one guard with the lever open, and we're going up a finger's width again. Here the hairs are starting to get longer, so it's real important that you start combing them hairs back down after you put the clipper through them and they start moving. You better be combing them hairs back down. Alright, now we close the lever, and this is going to do most of the work depending on the hair type. Some hair types, it ain't going to do that much. Some hair types, the line's gonna be pretty much completely gone. Just go slightly below the one open, where you were going with the one open. If you go up to that, then you're not gonna be able to blend the next line after this one, so don't do that. Now I'm grabbing my half guard to finish blending this line out. A trick I like to do is I open the lever all the way and then just close it a little bit, and that's gonna get rid of most of the line. If that won't do it, then I'll do it the opposite way. I'll close it all the way and then open it a little bit. But I also just play with the lever and get the line out. Now for the next step, I'm grabbing my 1.5 guard open. I'm just going up a little bit higher. Probably not a full finger's width, not a full guideline. I'm just trying to get that transition looking nice. And then after I do one open, I'm gonna go a little below that and close the lever like so. I don't want to go up too high and cut into his curls. Alright, now I'm grabbing my 2 guard lever open, and I'm just trying to finish off the blend. You can see where the dark spots are, so I'm just hitting those with like half of my blade, half of the guard. The guard's like pretty big on a small area, so that's why I'm using like half of it or just the corner. I'm making sure to comb down the long hairs. You see I'm using the corner right there. Got rid of that dark spot. So the blend is looking okay, but it's still not fully blended to the curls. Now we're going with the grain a little higher than that, because it's gonna cut it longer than against the grain. That's gonna let it blend into the curls a lot better when you grab a guard and you cut with the grain. Alright, that's almost all I'm gonna do with the clippers. Now we're gonna freehand and just try to use my eyes to determine how this blend is gonna turn out. I do use a 3 guard real quick just to see what I could do with it right above where I was with the 2 guard. Try to just get the blend going better, but then we're gonna freehand it again. The blend is actually closer to being finished than it looks. It just needs combed down right here. After we comb that down, we just need to do some more freehanding. It's gonna look different depending on where you comb it, as you can see right there. Now we just freehanding the rest of it right quick. It may seem a little scary to be freehanding, but it's pretty hard to mess up. Your hand should be pretty steady if you've been cutting for a while. Alright, this is what the blend is looking like on this side. We're about to do the back real quick. Alright, we're setting in our first line below the earlobes. We're using our clippers. I don't use the trimmers for the back neckline. It's too hard to get out. It's a waste of time. Next guideline, finger width above that. Same thing as always. Now we just put the lever halfway. That line's always pretty easy to get out. Nice and simple. After that, we're coming in with the 1 guard open. Another fingered width above that. Making sure we're combing all those long hairs down. And then after that, we just gonna close it like that. And then hit the middle of that line, and most of it's gonna be taken out. But we're gonna have to come back with the half guard still though. Half guard. Lever like halfway, maybe play with it a little bit, but for the most part, lever halfway is gonna be just fine. Now we're coming in 1.5 guard open, going above what we just did. We're just trying to finish the transition off. I'm gonna go over it a few times to make sure it's really at that 1.5 guard open. And then after that, we're gonna close the lever and then hit right below that, and then just watch that line come out. I'm also listening for the hair being cut. Now we're going with the grain to smooth out the transition. It's gonna take away some of the work we gotta do. Because a lot of times with the grain, with the smaller guards, you're gonna cut differently than a bigger guard against the grain, even though they're supposed to cut similar. Just because of how the hair lays, sometimes you might get a smoother transition. Now I'm going in with my 2 guard. I'm just trying to hit those dark spots, combing the hair back down. You can see the transition's not all the way complete, but it's getting there. I'm gonna finish this off though with some freehanding, so I could just use my eyes and see what needs to be debulked, what needs to be cut. I go back in with the 1.5 and just hit the line a little bit more. And now it's looking pretty good. So we're gonna do the lineup around the ear now. I just comb the hair down and then I start lining them up, putting my index finger knuckle on his neck and then not digging in too much. And then for the round part, I'm going to use the corner of my blade. But right here, I'm freehanding the bulk, because you can see it needs a little bit of freehanding. But for that round part, I'm just using my corner, because it's kind of like a pencil. You just carve it out. And then I got to brush it back down, because it's going to move again. And then do it all again after you brush it down. But I'm not digging in too much. I'm not pushing it back right here like I see a lot of people doing. Alright, we going on to the lineup. Alright, for the lineup, I'm just combing down pretty much the least amount of hair as possible and trying to get it to blend into the top. I don't want to see no separation, no line. You see, there's no line there. It's just dark the whole time. But I don't cut it down because if I cut it down, his corners are going to be light on him. So I just line it up straight like that. For the lineup, you gotta put your index finger on that forehead, start in the middle, use that one side of the blade and just start going over. Make it straight. I don't touch the corners too much on him because he don't like his corners being dug into at all. So for the most part, I leave him alone. For the vertical bar, I tap my trimmer over the side and then I drag it. And then for the C cup, I use my corners and just pretend my trimmer's a pencil and just try to make it a round C cup. But as you can see, the other side, the vertical bar is a little higher, so I actually had to go back and make that vertical bar a little shorter. You could tell, like, this vertical bar is shorter on this side. That's why I had to go back. Also, I probably could have pushed the corner up a little higher, but I was being on the safe side. But this is before I cut him, and then this is after I cut him. You can see the blend into the curls is looking magnificent. The back taper looks good, neckline looks good. Blended well, pretty good. It's not too crazy of a transformation. Got cut not too long ago. Definitely a good cut. Hairline looking good. No pushback at all. I'll probably do some more of these videos, but I'll probably do some more hair routine type of videos as well. We'll just have to wait and see though.